Anyway, our first abolitionist has written for satire sites like Hard Drive and Palette Swap, and his narrative writing has been recognized by the Screencraft Comedy Competition. Give it up for Seth Finkelstein.
Wonderful. Mr. Dean, esteemed panelists, thank you for having me. I'm excited to tell you about the great work we are doing over at the Finkelstein Foundation. Let's talk about New York City. To put it bluntly, New York City is in crisis. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, the unemployment rate is double the national standard, office occupancy is 64.7% of what it was, and subway ridership is still only 77% of pre-COVID levels. The poverty rate, housing prices are rising, wage rates, life expectancy falling. How can we as a city re-engage the economy and get business, tourism, and civil engagement moving again? The answer is simple. We need to abolish not having a 9-story Warner Brothers studio store in Times Square. Now, for the younger members of the audience, the Warner Brothers Studio Store was a chain of retail outlets selling a wide range of merchandise featuring the great brands and licenses of Warner Brothers and the larger Time Warner enterprise, including Looney Tunes, DC Comics, and Animaniacs. At its peak, the chain had over 130 locations across the globe, including its flagship store here at 57th Street and 5th Avenue. The store opened in 1993 with a star-studded grand opening featuring such luminaries as Liza Minnelli, Christian Slater, David Spade, and Chris Farley, and of course, Ivana and Ivanka Trump. Now, for those of you that are worried that former President of the United States, Donald Trump, had to miss this incredible once-in-a-lifetime event, I am sure he had the chance to see Bugs and Daffy at the Atlantic City location. Now, we do not have time to go over every incredible attraction on all 9 floors of the Warner Brothers Studio Store. We can't talk about the 7th floor wacky Acme interactive area featuring the molecular disorienter, Acme weather station, and Piggy and the Brain's wacky Acme candy lab. We can't talk about the giant zoetrope at the Moving Picture Cafe or the 3rd floor ceiling mural of the American flag unfurling over a loony version of the New York Harbor. I want to talk about these things. I can't. I have to limit myself. Let's talk about the 1st floor, featuring the New York, New York, and Now Playing stores. Wonderful. There was also the Toshiba 3D movie experience on the 7th floor, featuring Marvin the Martian in the 3rd dimension, the world's first fully polygonal 3D animated movie. Imagine those letters coming right at you. And on the 2nd floor, an animatronic show featuring the Batwing from Tim Burton's Batman. These people don't know what they have. They're completely ignoring the robotic plane right above them. And then I thought I'd add a little bit of ambiance.
Hello. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.
Now, many of you might be saying to yourself, didn't he say this was in Times Square? Will you be forgiven for being confused, considering there was an additional 3-floor Warner Brothers studio store in Times Square? That's 12 floors in a half-mile radius. Unfortunately, a series of bad financial decisions and a disastrous merger with America Online forced Warner to shutter their chain of stores. The 5th Avenue location closed in February 2001, while the Times Square location closed in October. The store in the mall at the World Trade Center closed the month prior. Now, why do we need a 9-story Warner Brothers studio store? There's a lot of discussion about return to office policies. It would be a good use of empty office space. That's 9 floors off the bat. A 45-story building? How about a 5 Warner Brothers studio store building? Take your kid to work day. How are you going to get employees back in the office? Well, their kids want to come to the 9-story Warner Brothers studio store. And then finally, it provides an exciting retail shopping experience that cannot be replicated anywhere else. And that's what this comes down to at the end of the day. We used to have these cool, only in New York places that have completely vanished. We used to have ambiguously themed spooky bars. We had a restaurant with a simulated trip to Mars. We had a Toys R Us with a Ferris wheel in it. It's a Gap. When was the last time you went to a Gap? Why would you go to Times Square to go to a normal Gap? And many of you might say that these gaudy, loud theme park experiences destroy the energy of New York. Buddy, that ship has sailed. The Sunshine Cinema, it's condos. Gem Spa, bougie coffee shop. Brad's, the sandwich shop by NYU where Tish kids went to drink underage, got turned into a Starbucks. And now it's nothing. And if you want a Starbucks, you can go to a block away to the Astor Place store. Oh, wait, it closed. And these are just things that I have a connection to. If you've lived here for your entire life, there's probably a million things that have turned into a Capital One cafe. Folks, we need to abolish not having a 9-story Warner Brothers studio store and bring joy back into this godforsaken city before it merely becomes a playground for the rich and famous. Join me, and we will create a future that is tiny, that is beauty, and yes, it is a world.
Seth Finkelstein, everybody!